It'll be like a random opener.
Okay.
So Manan is very happy today.
Manan is
I'm
so
not very
eager.
happy. I'm not very
Manan is
happy,
so
but
eager for
yes.
today's stream. Manan.
I
No,
I
no,
will tell
no.
you I will tell you the sad part. I planned my entire weekend around the Chelsea Man U game. Made sure, and Haru knows this because he was with me in the evening. So I made sure I reach home by 9:30 to watch the game. The match starts, and within the first 5 minutes, it's over.
Yeah, I didn't even bother watching the second half. So
Yeah.
क्यों यार man? I mean, you guys
no,
were
I
playing
had my
good.
tournament next morning. Na, I had to wake up at
अच्छा हाँ
5:30.
हाँ correct correct correct.
Otherwise, I would have seen it, of course. Yeah.
Cool. So let's dive in.
Yes.
Let's
Let's
start with
start
that
with
fixture. Do you guys want to start with that one or
Let's
some
dive in
something else?
like how Sanchez did.
the.
Na?
Unfortunately, he did not dive. He was midway.
You're
He did
kicking.
neither this nor that. मतलब, if we look at the Chelsea Man U game, first of all, I think United were amazing in the first 25 minutes. I think this was possibly the best 25 minutes I've seen them play in a while. They got it tactically perfect. And I think this was one of the occasions wherein Maresca got things very wrong. I think the lineup initially was, I wouldn't say there was a problem with the lineup. Uh, Sanchez getting sent off was very well deserved. I don't think there was any doubt about it. But that was the discussion we were having. So Varun, me, Ishan, Autani, a few of us were watching the game together. And that was the entire discussion that we were having, that Chelsea had an opportunity to strengthen their goalkeeping department twice in the transfer window. First with Maignan, who is France's number one, and second with Donnarumma, who is possibly one of the best goalkeepers in the world right now. And we missed the big chance of doing that, and I think that cost us. And these sort of moments, I think they kind of cost you a lot during the season. So yeah, I think that was the first big thing for from a Chelsea perspective.
But I
Uh,
think like they both of these keepers they don't fit the wage structure. Like Chelsea would need a
Maignan
captain
does.
coming
Maignan
in
does.
because
No,
Maignan
no,
would
Maignan,
also wouldn't be like 120 million pounds, no?
Maignan is actually very
120,000
cheap.
pounds.
He is. Maignan is actually very cheap. If you
Hmm.
see his if you see his wage on Topology or some other sport track websites, I think he is definitely in that bracket. But the
Okay.
problem with Maignan was 1 year left on his deal. Chelsea felt that you can lowball an offer. You would get
Hmm.
him for 10, 15 million, whereas Milan were holding out to 20 million. So that was the issue. But that is one aspect of the game. Tactically, I think Maresca lost the plot very early on, removing both Neto and Estevao, who were our most creative players, along with Palmer and Pedro. And Palmer, anyways, was carrying a niggle who had to be subbed off in the 28th minute. And then you have Garnacho, who didn't get an opportunity to play against United. I think this is one of the fixtures where a player like Garnacho would have brought, either he would have been sent off or he would have created something magical. Like this was an opportunity to utilize him. And when you have got the lucky sending off of Casemiro and it's 10 man each, I think Garnacho could have helped us get a draw at least. So I think a lot of mistakes by Maresca, but it's fine. He's a young manager. He will make mistakes. And credit to United. I think first 25 minutes they deserved the win for sure. And yeah, I think overall, uh, I think this is the best result as well because they needed a result. I think if Chelsea would have gotten a win over there, I think it would have really amped up the pressure on Amorim. So yeah, good job.
Yeah, I think they needed the result and the performance. Like even before the red card in the first 4 minutes, United were all over Chelsea. They had this
True.
one chance where Dorgu crossed from the left and just evaded Chesko and Mbumo could control it. So and it continued, of course, against 10 men. It's relatively easier. and in fact, United should have scored more. Like there were two or three chances where United had like a 3-on-1, 2-on-1 kind of a situation, and from what I remember, in both situations, it was Ahmad who was handling the ball, and he really could not manage to make the most out of it. So, so yes, there are goals in this team. Unfortunately, we are not very clinical with the final pass or the final pass before the pass or even with the shot, right? But yeah, like of course I am happy with the performance and the result, but it's just one result, and like a result against Chelsea is okay, but where we are right now, we need to back it up with like beating the next two teams and like sort of going on a consistent run, because I think this season it's more important for us to win against not the top six or top five teams, but all the other teams, sort of just to get that confidence back. And that will really show whether the club has improved in terms of mentality against teams which are not the big brands or big names. Because that has been the biggest problem for United again. Like irrespective of the manager we've had, we used to do well against big teams again under Solskjaer, under Ten Hag, under a lot of the managers, right? So we need to do well against the teams outside top six to actually show some progress.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I echo with what UV said. I think Maresca got multiple things wrong yesterday. Like even at halftime, not making a change at 2-0 and keeping the substitutes for very late on. I think he missed the plot over there. Removing Neto and Esteban early, both of them. Again, I think was a miscalculation. Um, yeah, I think 2-0 down at halftime and both teams at 10 men. I feel honestly, Chelsea could have kind of, and with the way the United players are under pressure, I think Chelsea could have actually made it 2-2. They had a chance, I mean, but I feel Maresca kind of missed the plot over there. I think even like Garnacho, as Yuvi was saying, like, you bring Garnacho against United and he's super motivated to score. So these are times when you have to actually use these players and their psychology and get the best out of them. So I think, yeah. But yeah, like overall, I feel first half was disappointing because when you get a red card in the 5th minute, the game just kind of becomes very lopsided. So that was the thing. And of course, with Chelsea fans, yeah, I know you we were literally like waiting for the whole week for this game. So yeah, but hota hai. ठीक है. Next week new
Yeah,
game.
There is a midweek game, and honestly, it's against a lower
Lincoln
league
City, no?
opposition in Lincoln City. Yeah,
Yeah.
but I think given the injuries, this can be another upset. So I would be very, let's say, interested in how Lincoln City kind of, if let's say I was a Lincoln manager, I would kind of just tell the players, ki, yaar, just be physical on this team. They have been suffering a lot, and there can be a good possibility of a David versus Goliath encounter again midweek.
Yeah. But
I don't think that's
still, I
really
think
going
with
to
the number
happen.
of players that they have, in spite of the injury list, they should win this year.
Yeah, like the
No,
Chelsea
that's what I'm
bomb
saying.
squad
It's
should
it's
win
it's
that
about it's about
fixture.
the way you want to play, right? Like Aj today, Caicedo is the one player who has been a constant. Now, if Caicedo is not playing in this game, Esugo is out with a long-term injury, Lavia is out. You have Enzo and maybe someone like a academy guy coming in. So I think if I was the Lincoln manager, I would say just be as physical with them in the first 20 minutes. Again, if you can have a player sent off from their team for a reaction, or we kind of get one goal here and there, we can kind of hold on. Palmer is going to be out for sure. Then I think Garnacho or someone may finally get an opportunity, but uh, I wouldn't say. Well, I'm just saying there is a possibility of a upset given the way the momentum is there right now.
Fair enough.
Let's
Let's
go
go
on
to the
to the
next
other
fixture.
games. Yeah. Can we have the fixtures on screen if possible?
Let's see.
Let me put it on.
So the early kickoff was Liverpool Everton.
Yeah.
Yes.
Defined by, I think, one of the goals of the season already. Gravenberch's finish from that
Yeah, yeah.
angle and amazing.
It's crazy, crazy finish.
He started the move as well, by the way. He was the guy who started the move and then applied that final finish. It was actually like the total football of Dutch days.
But I saw the first 15, 20 odd minutes of the second half, and like Everton were all over Liverpool. Like Liverpool had to weather a proper storm to, like, and they scored in that period as well. And it was just like one way attack all the way Everton. And I feel that Everton has a very good team. Like, if you see that front four, they have Grealish, they have Dewsbury Hall, they have NDIA, and the
And
forward
I
is, I think, Beto is the forward. And they have like a decent midfield backing up. Garner is there, Kana is there. So the first 11 at least is pretty solid, like to finish in the top 10 of the league. And David Moyes, his second coming as a Premier League manager, has been really good, very impressive.
The scary part is that Liverpool so far haven't even played so well. And
Hmm.
still they are like 5 wins out of five, won their Champions League game as well. And this is literally them playing in second gear, I feel. Like it's not even like prime Liverpool. Their defense has been very leaky. Like I think they have been rescued by like these late goals in so many games. Like imagine if this team actually gets in form, right? Like it's yeah, I don't know. I mean, yeah, and this is what defines champions, right? I feel like
Yeah.
when you are not playing well and still you are 5 games out of five with like wins, so it's difficult to actually now kind of see them dropping points if they even kind of improve a little bit from here. So yeah,
completely agree. Completely agree. I think
and already 5 points gap has opened up. So yeah, seems a little
more more than the gap, it is just the part about being able to get those results when other teams are not able to.
correct.
I
Correct.
think Arsenal are a little bit in that bracket as well, wherein I think everything was done in the City game. City actually did not have the best of games. Arsenal really played amazingly well, but that final Martinelli goal, I think, kind of swayed things back in favor of Arsenal. Otherwise, if Arsenal would have lost that game, I think City also would have gotten ahead of them, and that would
Yeah,
have like created another issue for them. But
correct.
yeah, let's
Correct.
get back to Liverpool. So both Varun and I think we just saw the highlights. We couldn't see this game. Manan, any other thoughts on this game?
Which one? Sorry.
Liverpool Everton.
No, I just saw those 20 minutes. Yeah, like the football was very good. I enjoyed watching those 20 minutes, but then I was at work, so I had to switch back to working. But yeah, I do believe that Everton will finish. They are strong contenders for a top 10 finish this season. And Liverpool, I really like Ekatike. I think he's like a very like sort of pacey forward who runs the channels and who has a very good finishing touch to him. So I'm sort of a little jealous that Liverpool have him, to be honest.
So that's an interesting point because if you see the Bundesliga imports into the Premier League this season, if you go one by one, let's say United with Sesko, I think Sesko hasn't really hit the ground running yet. Gittins is not even on the pitch as far as Chelsea is concerned. Uh, Wirtz is, I think, also not has having the best of times at the moment. I think Liverpool are giving him chances to kind of set in, but he has been very under par till now. Walter Mode had a good first game, but again hasn't been lighting up. the Premier League yet in terms of the time that he has been on the pitch. But Ekitike from day one, the Bournemouth game on day one, he scored that very nice finish into the right corner. And
Mhm.
since then, every single game he has been creating output, and he has been a handful for the defenders, like Manan said. So yeah, I think the other Premier League clubs definitely missed the beat because he was available for everyone.
Yeah.
True. So next game was, I think it was Brighton versus Spurs.
Yeah. 2-2.
Yeah.
2-2, and again, resilient Spurs. I think that is the headline here. Because in days past, you would see a Spurs team losing 2-0, and then possibly they would end up 3-0 or 4-0. And
Mhm.
this time around, they actually turned things around very well. And getting a draw after being 2-0 down at Brighton is definitely not easy. So again, big credit to Thomas Frank and the Spurs team to kind of get in there. Uh,
A couple of other fixtures were Burnley, Nottingham, and which was 1-1, and then West Ham and Crystal Palace, which Crystal Palace won 2-1.
You
Uh,
know, like if you see Crystal Palace playing, if you see Wolves of the past playing, like you realize that it's that a two-man midfield can work in the Premier League. Like even Chelsea when Conte was a manager, it's not about the two-man midfield. It's about the personnel and the tactics and so many other things. Like of course, like a Palace or a Wolves are not competing at the very top end of the league, but still they are very competitive. Like I really like Palace. Like Glasner as a manager also. I think he was a steal for them from I think it was from Hoffenheim if I'm not mistaken. Where Glasner was.
Bundesliga for sure. Let me
Yeah,
check,
yeah.
but
It was
definitely
either
Bundesliga.
Hoffenheim or Frankfurt, either of the two.
He was in Frankfurt.
Yeah,
Another Frankfurt import doing well.
yeah. Frankfurt has been importing very good players.
Yeah,
Huh?
except
but
for Luka Jovic.
another difficult result for West Ham. Yeah, I mean
Yeah.
they are kind of struggling right now. They are 19th and they kind of have lost 4 games. Um,
So
where do you guys like? Do you guys see that? Like, what do you guys see like from a relegation perspective? Wolves are kind of struggling. West Ham are struggling significantly.
the third team on the list is the biggest surprise.
Aston Villa, yeah, I know they haven't won a game so far. It's
They finally
surprising.
scored a goal.
Yeah, dude, it's
So I think
it's
about West Ham is like I feel they're going to change the manager soon, uh,
Yeah.
and the squad is too good to be relegated, is what I feel. So like maybe a change in manager, like change in some tactics, or just like the new manager bounce will carry them through to like outside
But
relegation.
is
I
is
think
is the squad actually good enough? If you see, they had Loptegi last season at the beginning.
Hmm.
They
Hmm.
signed a lot of players,
Hmm.
and Loptegi is a very well-renowned manager. He
Hmm.
couldn't get this West Ham team to kind of go in the right direction. Potter
Hmm.
is a project manager. You cannot get results from him. You need to give him 3, 4 years, and then he will start molding the team on his own. So I think
Hmm.
that appointment itself was very strange, if nothing else. And which managers would actually want to take the West Ham job? Like they lost their best player in Kudus at the beginning of the season, and
No,
right
no.
now Bowen
Kudus was
is their
not their
best
best
player.
player, huh? Just to tell you.
Okay, Bowen.
Like
No, I'm
he
talking
did
about
not
not
do well at Kudus, at West
not
Ham
as
last
per the
season either.
stats, not as per the stats, but if you see the gameplay, right? Like in terms of if you bring down the statistics, in terms of presses, in terms of balls recoveries. So I think he was in the top percentile as well.
No. I think Bowen is their best player.
Bowen
Uh,
Paqueta is
Bowen's
pretty decent
yeah,
as well.
Paqueta. Yeah.
Ward-Prowse is pretty decent. Callum Wilson is pretty decent. They have got a decent squad, yeah.
The problem with them is that they have the slowest midfield in
Yeah,
the
that's
Premier League
true.
by far. A midfield of Paqueta and the tall guy, the Fellaini, what's
Is
his
it
name, yeah?
Guido Rodriguez?
Guido Rodriguez and the other one. One second.
Matthias Fernandez.
No, no, no. Suchek.
Ah, Suchek. Okay.
Suchek. Suchek
So,
can't hit her, लेकिन.
no, no, but in general, that is
Yeah,
their.
yeah.
Well, if you look at their squad, right,
Yeah.
aside from Bowen and possibly Kyle Water Peters, they don't have any pace in the squad.
Hmm.
And Wilson again is not your like Newcastle let him go on a free. I think that tells you a lot, right, about the
No, I think he
signing.
wanted to go. It was not just about Newcastle letting him go.
Yeah, so with Isaac coming in, he wasn't getting enough gameplay, right? So,
Yeah.
With Isak going, he would have got. So he's 33 right now.
he said he's old. He's old, yeah.
He's old, yeah. And
A lot of their players are old also. Like even this
what
one,
Prowse?
Ward-Prowse is not very young, right? So
Let me check out there a little bit of more detail and then 1 second. They don't have a proper page as well on Wikipedia. Okay, anyways.
for the round off the last fixture, another last fixture on Saturday was Wolves Leeds, where again Wolves lost 3-1 to Leeds at home, and then coming to Sunday's fixtures, it was Fulham Brentford. Fulham won 3-1. And then, of course, Aston Villa, Sunderland Aston Villa, which was 1-1. And as UV mentioned, it was the first time Aston Villa scored a goal this season.
Which is so surprising from an Emery team, right? I think
Yeah,
they were among the only three teams across all the leagues in England who had not scored. So yeah,
correct. And the weird part is that Sunderland got a red card in the 33rd minute.
correct,
And Aston Villa ended up scoring 67th minute. And then they even conceded one. So, I don't know, conceding a goal against a 10-man Sunderland, difficult. Yeah, this was like 3 points for them that they could have easily had. But
correct.
yeah,
So
they're
I
going
think
for a
like the
match.
squad did not upgrade this season, like this past off season, and they
Yeah,
lost a couple of good players who were on loan and who sort of were contributing in nominal, marginal ways, but doing it right.
yeah,
So that does impact, and it's not a very young squad in a way. Like you have players who are sort of aging, and that doesn't help either.
correct. But again, I mean, I think Watkins has completely gone off form. I feel like his form has dipped, and how. So I don't know what's happening over there with him.
A lot of things could happen, yeah. Like age would be one. Then like maybe his head was turned in the transfer window with links to like United or a few other clubs, and then your
Yeah,
heart is not in there anymore.
fair
In
enough.
the second half of the season, like in the second half of the last season, he was like not really like he had to compete more for his place with like Rashford coming in and stuff. So a lot of things can happen psychologically with a player as well. And then like these days, players peak early, so then they sort of reach towards the end of their careers early as well. And maybe Watkins is going that way. We don't know. It's too early to say, of course, but like just putting out so many thoughts.
Yeah,
One thought
on
about
a
yeah on a separate basis is that at the end of the transfer window, United made a bid for Baleba, but Brighton valued him at around 116 million. And now, based on his performances, he's trying to prove that he's a 40 million player so that United can sign him free.
Yeah,
Hmm.
the manager is also admitting, right, that his head is turned by United, and like the young guy, Club A United bids, and your head is turned, and like you need to sort of refocus yourself on various things. And now, like it seems like in January, United are going to go for Elliot Anderson.
Hmm.
That's what the rumors are, and like he may eventually miss out on the move also, like unfortunately.
On a lighter note, a surprising thing is that it's been 5 games in the Premier League and Xhaka still hasn't gotten the red card. So
And he's actually doing decently well in terms of assists as well. He got an assist this week as well, if I'm not
yeah, I'm
wrong.
not surprised with that. That is that he's a
Yeah,
good player. It's just that his temperament is a little yeah,
off.
yeah. But
Haru
acha,
can relate.
acha. To the good player part, right?
I will let our two viewers decide.
Uh, anyways, what was the next fixture? Let's have a look.
The Arsenal City one.
Yeah. So just checking. So let's discuss. Do we have anything on the Bournemouth Newcastle, and then we can jump to Arsenal Man City to conclude as the last
I think
discussion.
I have some just a overall point on the table. So, like, if I go through the table, extremely impressed with Crystal Palace. They are one of only two teams who have not lost a single game this season. Extremely impressed with Bournemouth, who, despite losing their first choice defense, is
Yeah,
still one of the better teams in the league right now. And if we look at it, another surprise is Sunderland, because Sunderland has actually got 8 points already. So again, it's very impressive. So, I think these two, three teams have really punched over their weight, and it'll be great to see if they can continue this momentum.
so by the way, like Bournemouth actually dominated Newcastle um, this weekend. It ended up 0-0, but Newcastle hardly had any chances. Like literally 4 shots and like 1 shot on target. That's it. Like possession wise, Bournemouth did really well, 57%. I mean, overall, I think Bournemouth is doing, as you were saying, like they are doing really well. So
So I feel like Bournemouth dominating Newcastle is not really a surprise. Like they were very good last season. They dominated Spurs also in the game immediately after Spurs beat City. I think that was the one just before the September international break. So, like Bournemouth is a good team. Newcastle is a team that is trying to bring in like newer players uh, into their first 11. So it's not really a surprise that Bournemouth is dominating or like some of the games and dominating some of the bigger teams.
yeah,
So they narrowly lost to Liverpool on the first day of the season.
yeah,
And like Manan said, they got a great win against Spurs as well. And they were a man down in the EFL. That's why they lost against Brentford. Otherwise, again, beating Bournemouth, drawing against Newcastle, I think, yeah, good things to look forward to. And their next four games are against Leeds, Fulham, Palace, and Nottingham Forest. If they can
right.
actually get those, yeah, points on the
Yes.
board, it'll be amazing, right? Like if they can be in the top four for in the first 10 games of the season.
Correct, correct.
Yeah, I think
Okay.
they were in a similar position last year also, right? Like they were in the top four or top six after 10 odd games, if
Really?
my memory serves me
Top
well.
top
Yeah,
six, top six maybe, yes. Top four, I don't think
top
so.
four, top six, something like that.
They
They
were
were doing
there. They
really
were
well.
there. So I
I think it was
remember that they
Nottingham
were
Forest, not
there.
Bournemouth.
No, no. So
No, no, both
Bournemouth,
both
towards
of
the
them
end
were
of the
there.
season as well, like around 10 games to go, Bournemouth had a chance to actually compete for the top five, and then they kind of dropped off. So they were around the 45, 50 point mark early on last season, comparatively.
Cool. Let's go to Arsenal Man City.
Yes.
Um, yeah, I feel overall, I think would have loved a win over here. Eventually, we rescued it with a last minute, last stoppage time Martinelli goal. Overall, I feel Arteta didn't get the starting lineup correct. I feel Trossard is not a player that plays well when he starts. He's more like a super sub kind of a player. Always does well when you get him on as a sub. I think Eze could have started on the left. Second thing, I feel with the whole trio of Declan Rice, Zubomendi, and Merino,
Merino.
for some reason there is no, because Marino and Declan Rice are very similar players. Declan Rice is technically, he started his career as a CDM, right? And he's predominantly a CDM kind of a player.
No, he started his
Marino,
career as a centre back, huh? Just to share with
fair
you.
enough,
When he started
but
as a team.
yeah, and Marino as well is more like a more defensive player than a creative player, right? So I feel the creativity is lacking with those three when you start them in the midfield. And that's what you kind of saw in the first half. Like, we had the ball, we had the possession, but we didn't create anything. And
Hmm.
that's where I think the problem lies. And then, of course, he took off Marino and started playing Eze in that inside right role, which again I don't feel is the best position for Eze. The best position for Eze is left, on the left wing, right, or the left inside forward. Um, Ethan could have easily played in that Odegaard role that Marino actually started in, and that would have provided a lot more creativity.
Balance.
Actually. Yeah, a balance and creativity. So I think that's where I think Arteta lost the kind of plot in the starting lineup. When you look at Man City, they were just playing on the counter attack, right? Like, brilliant counter attack by them to score that goal. Great finish by Haaland. Um, and honestly, like, I just feel the team was set up based on counter attacks. That's it. The entire thing was counter attack. You have Doku, who is very pacey. You have Haaland, who is very pacey. Who has Foden? You have Foden, who is very pacey. Just break the lines, counter attack, and try to score a couple of one or two goals. And that's what they did. And I think we could have done better in that counter attack in which the City scored the goal. There was like a pinball happening in the middle of the field and it just broke to them. And also, I feel one of the mistakes that was made in the starting lineup was getting back Saliba. I feel that in a big match, you actually go with the players who are actually in form. So Mosquera was actually playing really, really well till now. And I would have, in fact, stuck with Mosquera given how he had played in the previous games instead of actually getting Saliba in, who had not played a minute for the last month, basically. And why I'm saying this is that I feel in that Haaland goal, Saliba could have done better. I think he got his positioning incorrect and he could have actually closed down Haaland much better in that goal. So, yeah. And I mean, I think even if you look at the second half, once the changes were done, I mean, we did kind of improve our creativity. But if you ask me, any clear cut chances, very few. So, yeah, that is something that Arteta really needs to look at. Like, how I understand with the whole structured play and you want to kind of reduce the number of chances you are giving to the opposition, but at some level the team is playing with a handbrake, right? So you have to release our handbrake now that we have got the quality of players that can match with any team going forward. With the likes of Eze, you have the pace, you have the finishing, you have the power, you have the likes of Odegaard and Ethan, who are very creative. Saka is extremely creative. So at one level, Zubomendi is extremely good at distributing the ball. I think you have to let that handbrake off and kind of unleash the creative power of this team, which I think Arteta hasn't done so far. So yeah, that's my. And again, shout out to Martinelli for the brilliant finish. I think that's the second time he's
in a
doing
week.
this week. Yeah. So and a great ball by Eze as well over the top. So yeah.
Yeah, I
But
think Eze
I
should
would
start
I
in
would
the.
just
Maduake played really well in the first half.
Yeah.
yeah. I
I
think
was in fact
55
surprised that
million bargain.
Maduake was sub for Saka, but yeah.
Haru is Madueke a 48 million bargain now?
नहीं यार, for me, I still feel कि I wouldn't say a 48 million bargain, but okay, fine. He's a good backup to Saka. It's fine, but see, I feel Maduake is very limited to the point of view of कि यार he has no end product. Like he's very good in the build up play. Like he will dribble, he'll get to the touch line by like the goal line. Uh, but the way the cutbacks that he does, correct, the opportunity that he creates by those cutbacks or by his crosses are not that great. His finishing is not that great. So the end output that you are seeing from him is something that needs to improve drastically. The approach play is very good. Like his dribbling is very good. He's very fast. He can take the man. He can take the fullback one on one. He can beat them very easily. He gets into good positions. But then I feel his final ball, like the final delivery or the final pass or the finish, is kind of lacking. But he's still young. I mean, that's something that can be worked on and that can be improved. Once he does that, then definitely for if and when he does that, then 46 million will look like a bargain.
And one point which you had shared earlier, which you can reference now, is that whenever Havertz is not in the team, Martinelli starts performing better.
Yeah, he does, dude. He because the thing is, it's the style of play, right? Like Havertz kind of drifts a lot to the left whenever he was playing as a forward, correct? And he was occupying the spaces that Martinelli was occupying. And Havertz is one player that actually takes a lot of time on the ball. For Martinelli, his biggest strength is his pace. You have to pick him fast, you have to pick him quick. So the two goals that he scored last this week were all really good first one touch passes to him, or like the ball that Eze played over the top, right? Where Martinelli utilized his pace, went almost like one on one with the keeper and made the finish. So that is something you need to utilize, which with Harvard it becomes a little difficult.
What were your thoughts on Gyökeres?
Again, right? Same thing that I said when we were signing him, right? Like, um, see, you evaluate a player on the number of goals he's scoring at the end of the season. Gyökeres might still end up scoring like what 20 goals, 25 goals, whatever number of goals he scores, 30 goals in the season. But how well do you perform in a big game match? He went missing against Liverpool and he went missing against City this time again. And that's where I mean, like, okay, fine, you're signing a player which is 60 million or like, but how is he able to influence a big game? That is the biggest difference, right? And that's where I feel that Gyökeres might be lacking. So yeah, see again, like stats only tell you one side of the story, correct? The other side of the story is okay, like whether those stats actually help you translate as a team to win you the league or not, right? So that's the biggest difference I feel.
Just a thought. If you have Martinelli, Madueke, Gyökeres, and Eze in a front four,
Yeah,
would that kind of work
and
better right
Saka.
now? Maybe Saka and Madueke are replaceable.
Yeah,
You can't play both of them ideally,
correct,
right?
correct.
So would that kind
I
of a
wouldn't
setup?
start Madueke over Saka.
Acha.
Never, because Saka
Yeah,
provides you the
never.
product, right? Saka scores you goals and assists and everything, dude. Like Maduaki will not get you goals and assists.
In fact,
Not
I
as of
would
now.
put Madueke on left and then bring Martinelli on as a substitute, like when the
Madueke
defenders are
on left.
tiring
Oh yeah,
and
Madueke on left is like 60% of a output. On a
Then play
right, he's
SJ on
really
left
good.
and Odegaard, in the creative midfield.
I would say keep Maduaki as a backup to Saka. No, it's fine. Like keep him as a backup to Saka. Um, Play him in the cup games, etc., etc., and then also give Saka a bit of rest whenever possible. Um, and Eze is good on the left hand side. Yeah, Eze is pretty decent on the left hand side. Not sure why he was playing the inside right yesterday.
Channel.
I mean, it's a little difficult to comprehend. So yeah, and I feel he should never start with Trossard. Like Trossard doesn't perform when he's starting. Like that was a poor call. I feel like he is a super sub. You get him when you like in the last 25 minutes, and he does really well when you do that. So yeah,
So just to put things in context, now Arsenal are going to be facing Port Vale in the EFL Cup, Newcastle away, but Newcastle aren't in the best of form right now. Olympiacos at home, West Ham at home, Fulham away, Atletico at home, Palace at home, and Burnley away. I think
we need to win all.
this, yeah, this is like a very, very, aside from possibly a Newcastle away, I think it seems like a very good period for the Arsenal. And if we look at the Liverpool match schedule, Liverpool are going to face Southampton in the EFL. Crystal Palace away is going to be a difficult match. Galatasaray away is going to be difficult. Chelsea away is going to be difficult. Manu at home are going to be difficult because Manu and Liverpool rivalry. Frankfurt, by the way, are doing really well, surprisingly. So Frankfurt away, Brentford away, maybe this season can be easier compared to the others. Villa at home, Madrid at home, City away. I think this is one of the most difficult runs for Liverpool now. So I think there is a very good chance that come the next big international break, which is November 9th, I think the tables may actually be turning by then.
Hopefully, but the way with which Liverpool is actually kind of getting the results, I mean, see again, it's more about just knowing how to win games, right? Like champions, like they know, like teams that are champion, like kind of a mentality. They know how to just kind of just win, right? Like they're not playing well, just still like scoring like crucial goals. And I think Liverpool is kind of mastered that art as of now. So yeah, like it's the same thing that we used to feel about United in the early 2000s or something like that, right? Like the first half of 2000s or something like that, where you know that they are not playing well. Like I knew like literally the first 5 year, like 2000 to like 2005 or something. I was like being an Arsenal fan, and during that rivalry, like each of those 5 years, I knew that Arsenal was a better team. But still, United ended up winning like two titles because they like just got results out of nowhere. Like it was unreal. Like you like as a opposition fan, you know, okay, fine, they're not playing well, and suddenly out of nowhere, just before halftime, they'll just score a goal. Like, and then if it's a draw going into like 80th minute, 85th minute, they have had a poor match, they'll just score, or they are a man like a goal down or something, they'll just score two goals at the end, kind of a thing. So, I mean, it's the same feeling that you get with the Liverpool side right now. Just knowing how to get the results. That's an art as well. Just yeah.
Cool. Any other points on the Arsenal City game?
Um,
Mhm.
Nothing much from my
Yeah.
end.
I think Pep remembered what happened last season, uh, when they were playing 11 against 10 and couldn't break the Arsenal ball down. So he decided that we are not going to play at all. Let Arsenal come to us and we'll just play on transition.
No, but
Uh,
it's a
that's
good
fine too.
ploy.
It's a good
Yeah.
strategy, of course. Yeah, of course, 100%. It's good.
Yeah, it's
In fact,
whatever works.
if you roll back the years, right, this actually seemed like Arsenal was City and City were Arsenal. The way the match went, Arsenal
Yeah,
had great possession, great ball movement.
yeah,
Players knew where to go, what to do, and in the first, like as the first goal, it was so beautifully made, right?
yeah.
Reinders pass to Haaland. Haaland made that brilliant run
Hand.
and then one time finish on with his right. Superb.
Correct, correct. And Haaland seems to be motivated and in form, back in form. So whoever hasn't got Haaland in their FPL team, please look out.
I didn't even make one this season.
Even I didn't make one this season. Yeah. UV, do you have Haaland in
I
your FPL
have,
team?
yes, I have Haaland and Salah always.
Great. Nice. Okay. Any final comments, guys?
No, I think this week was disappointing from a Chelsea perspective, but overall, Liverpool did extremely well, and I think Arsenal did really well to get the at least a point in that fixture. So
Yeah.
yeah,
A loss
interesting
would
week.
be would have been difficult to digest, honestly.
Yeah,
So great. Thanks for watching, everyone. Do let us know what you think. Hit the like button, subscribe, share, and we'll see you next week. Bye bye.